Tell people that it was a fair fight and see what the jury and judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence, and yes. It's a fair fight. And see how many people believe or side with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, what beautiful words to start of a channel aimed at helping men. This is exactly the reason why I wanted to create this channel, because there are a lot of people that believe false narratives and indoctrination propaganda of how women are always oppressed, and all men are evil, and the gender wage gap, and many other ideas promoted by womanism and similar movements. But when you take a look at society, you can actually see that's not the case. We have a woman here saying to a famous multimillionaire, citizen of one of the theoretically most advanced countries in terms of social justice, how he can go to court and say that he is a victim of domestic violence because no one will believe him. And I say famous because the whole world knows him and can stand behind him. I say multimillionaire because he can hire the best advocates in the country. And still, she feels secure that no one will believe him. And she is correct, actually. Women by default have the media, the courts, and society on their side. In the end, Johnny won that case, but do you think a man that isn't that famous or that rich would have the same odds of winning the case? Because in the end, many men get screwed in courts just because women have an advantage in that sphere. Now, am I saying that there aren't cases in which women are oppressed? Am I saying that there are no evil men at all? No. Women face their problems too. So why is it that I will focus only on talking about issues men face and not women? Well, this is a question that a very important person to me asked me before I started the channel. And it's also a question I see many people asking. So let me explain the main reasons why I'll be focusing only on men. The first of them is that men's bad behavior is easily recognizable, while women's bad behavior is harder to identify. And of course, being a bad person doesn't have anything to do with gender. It is something individual, but there are bad behaviors characteristic to each gender. Men's bad behavior is impulsive and short-lived, while women's bad behavior is thought-out, manipulative, and long-lasting. And this is why jails are mostly filled with men, because they are more spontaneous and impulsive. If there is a robbery or a murder or a street fight, it's usually men who do it. Women, on the other hand, are not so keen on this type of aggression, but they are more manipulative than men. And I'm talking about crocodile tears, using bedroom fun as a tool, taking different moods or attitudes to get what they want, using a man just for his money, and many other things that we will cover on this channel. And certainly you can make the argument that a murder or a robbery can be more harmful than emotional or psychological manipulation. But the fact of the matter is that stealing and killing are things we already have laws for. These behaviors can be investigated, tracked down, and legally punished really easily. So what I mean by that is that all of men's bad behaviors are already being punished. They are easy to spot, they can be handled with ease due to the nature of men's aggressiveness. On the other hand, women's bad behaviors are cunning in nature and hard to identify, easy to cover up or play around. And that is the first reason for the creation of this channel. I want men to identify manipulative behavior. I want men to know what they are dealing with, what could harm them, what could ruin them. Because men get screwed around all the time by the games that women play, which men just don't do in 99% of the cases. Men just don't play these games. So you should not give your heart, time, resources, or attention to just about any individual. I want men to be careful because they are naive by nature. They are basic in the sense that they are trustful and by default want to give everything they have in a relationship. And yes, there are some a-holes of course, but the exception doesn't make the rule. The second reason is the social opinion and social ostracizing. If a man hits her wife, or he comes home drunk and is aggressive and unpleasant, every person in that city or neighborhood who knows about it will criticize that behavior. Which of course is a good thing. You see, the problem comes when a woman is being manipulative and abusive towards her partner. Man, no one will say a damn thing. The woman can act arrogant, manipulate her husband, order him around like a boss, or treat him like a little kid, and no one will say anything about that bad behavior. You see how society treats one problem in all seriousness, but for the other they joke around? And reinforcing my first point here, if a woman gets physically abused by her partner, she can go to the hospital, take a medical document, and bring it to court. And that's it. The case is won. If a man is being abused, however, he can't get any document for that because woman's abuse doesn't manifest in physical harm. It's not as easy. There can still be a judicial case about domestic abuse, but you see how much harder it will be to prove the mental abuse? Because it will be his word against her word, because she can make up excuses or play around words. And as a man, what are you going to do if your wife cuts the bedroom fan just to manipulate you? Are you going to go to court and tell the jury she did it on purpose? Yeah, good luck with that, my man. And there are many other subtle little games and little manipulative tools that some women use which are hard to fight against. But going back to Johnny, I see this accusation in many channels that cover such topics of, you just hate women. I don't hate women. I don't root for Johnny because he is a man and Amber is a woman. No, I root for Johnny because he is a good person and Amber is a bad person. And if it was the other way around, I'd be rooting for Amber. This channel is not about hating women. It's about showcasing bad attitudes that a considerable group of women share. Because I'm tired of seeing men struggle and suffer and no one to side with them or help them. And it's funny to me how women know what's the deal. Amber knew the world is by default by her side, but yet there are still people out there who criticize channels like this and accuse them of misogyny. My man, under what cave do you live in? Like, guys, here, I'm a mommy. Okay, I'm a mommy who for millennia has been stuck in a tomb, and I have more common sense and world knowledge than many people nowadays. Isn't that crazy? So to sum up everything said, the second reason why I focus on men is because society as a whole sides with women and is against men. And men struggle in many aspects of which I want to talk about, and I want to grow a community of understanding and problem-solving attitude. My goal is to shed some light on the issue so the next time a bad female dog like Amber wants to ruin a man's life, she thinks twice, and she doesn't have the security that society by default is on her side. So moving on to the last reason why I won't be addressing women's problems, it's a consequence of the second reason, and it is that since society as a whole is by the side of women, they have already a lot of spaces to find help for their problems. For men, on the other hand, there are a few insurgent channels that have to play around 200 words to not get banned the very same day. Like, women have said on social media how men should die and insulted them in 100 different ways, no problem with that. But if I say that womanism is a certain thing I cannot say on YouTube, by this time tomorrow I will be hanging from the town hall square. So in resume, the 3 reasons why I want this channel to be about issues men face is because women's bad behaviors can be really cunning and stealthy, because men should have a higher standing in society's perception, and because there are so few channels for men's support that also get constant shaming and insulting from other people. And of course, if you're a woman, you'd still learn a lot from these videos, I say. Everyone is welcome to the channel. Again, I'm not waging a war between the genders. It's about equality, it's about balance, about justice. And if I lived in another place, or if I lived centuries ago, maybe I'd be doing videos about women's issues. But the pendulum of gender balance has swung, guys, and let me tell you, it's not in favor of men. We see the dating world is in shambles, divorces are at an all-time high, kids are growing without one of the parents, usually without the father. Men are being constantly trash-talked into being simps and called misogynists if they have any preference or standard for a woman. People as a whole are losing their pair bonding ability and their will to even try. And you can thank radical womanism for that, and all of those other toxic philosophies that undermine love and essential values and principles that have kept families going throughout history. But with that being said, guys, thank you for watching. If you want to dive into these topics and more, feel welcome to subscribe. Comment below whatever experience you want to share, or any thoughts you may have, and I'll see you next time. Bye.